So let's have some fun today. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is the Raiders ended their 10-game losing streak, had not won a game since September against the Cleveland Browns. The bad news is the Raiders ended their 10-game losing streak and went from roughly number 1 to number 5 as the Raiders, not an upset. They're actually favored to beat Jacksonville at home. Raiders 19, Jaguars 14 in a game that went about as what we expected between a 2-12 team and a 3-11 team.
It was just not it wasn't a pretty game. It was a pretty ugly game. And yeah, exactly what you said. A lot of miscues, penalties, things that if these teams were semi-competent offensively, they would have taken advantage of. And Isaiah pulled them out. Two fumbles, forced fumbles. Yeah. This is what look, it's hard to be excited about this because we beat another terrible team and we also didn't play well. So it's like we didn't get anything that we wanted. We didn't play well. We didn't get the loss. On one side, we won, but we didn't play well, and we didn't play well, and we still won, which is like, no matter what side you're on, you didn't win.
It was just a weird game all around. Like, we went 15 weeks with only getting 1 fumble recovery. We got 2 here in this game. Like
dude,
that.
And they were forced. It wasn't like the guy just dropped it.
Just a weird game all around. It was the most Aidan O'Connell game ever. Like, his timing was off. He wasn't that efficient, wasn't that accurate, but he was running around. Like, he was like running around and like making kind of plays with his feet. He had a 13-yard run, 5 carries for 20 yards, all career highs. It's like, it was like nothing. It was still bad, but it was un-Raiders like bad. Like, we won the turnover battle, which we never ever do, turned into a W. Aidan O'Connell, not very accurate or efficient, but running around making plays. Run game still trash. Again, Brock Bowers is the giant shining light of this game. He's now got, 101 receptions on the season? Got over 100. He had 11 receptions on 99 yards, 13 targets. He had a 32-yarder. Weird game. Just a weird game. And like you said, you put it perfectly. It's like, it wasn't even a win where it's like, okay, well, there's stuff we can build on for next season. It's just, we just kind of stumbled back asswardsly into a loss or into a win. And we went from number 1, according to Tankathon, to number 5 selection. So are we thinking Sam Darnold there? Is that where we're already going? Season's not over. We can still get a 1 or 2 pick, but now we're at 5.
Yeah. You got 3 teams ahead of us that are looking for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't bode well for us. If we pick Jalen Milroe at the 5th pick overall, I'm gonna boycott. I don't know how long.
Boycott what? You gonna boycott Sam Demand with the super chat? I wasn't high on Shador anyway. Pick number 5, Milroe.
No.
Hard no.
If you think that Shador isn't good enough to be a top 5 pick, why would you pick Milroe, who definitely is not good enough to be a top 5 pick?
For the shits and giggles.
I'm just really like, honestly, I just want a good player. If it's Shador or Cam or whoever, but have it be one of the top guys. You don't want to get Tubi quarterback 3 unless he's like super high end with a top pick. Not in this draft.
Yeah,
not in this draft for sure. Tell me why you guys shit on Shador so much. I just want to know, and don't give me like I just don't like him or I don't like this. I don't like. Just give me some real shit because I'm interested. Why you guys are so low on him?
I think with if you're going like whether it's Shador or Cam, it sounds like I'm copping out on this answer, but it's really genuinely the truth. Like, Cam Ward is a more work in progress, but I think he has a much higher ceiling than Shador, but a much lower basement. Whereas Shador is kind of NFL ready-made-ish. Doesn't have quite the same physical ability as Cam, but he's more NFL ready. So I think it kind of depends on what our coaching staff is. If we've got an offensive new head coach that's an offensive brilliant mind, great offensive coordinator, great quarterback coach, I say you go Cam and you work on him. And if you need Aidan O'Connell to be a bridge guy, fine, great, no problem. He can do that role, no problem. If we're kind of sticking defensively, if we're not overly wowed by our offensive coordinator, then maybe we do Shador, and hopefully he can make up for not the high level coaching we have. These are all components, that whole conversation.
Yeah, I think that, and we'll get this as everything shakes out. We'll figure it all out. I think the only thing tool wise that Cam Ward has on Shador Sanders is just pure arm strength. That's it.
He's got a howitzer.
That's it. But I mean, I wouldn't even say Cam Ward's arm is like an elite arm. It's just stronger than Shador's. He's not more accurate. He doesn't throw with better touch. He doesn't throw with better anticipation. He doesn't read offenses better. I don't think he's that much faster. It's just weird to me. It's weird to me watching them both play. I think because he like runs around and makes all these crazy arm angle throws. He throws like Uncle Rico. He's like a sidearm quarterback. But what do I know? But the only thing that he has like legitimately is the strength of his arm. Mm-hmm. As far as being a passer, I don't think he's any better. I don't think he's better at all. I don't think he's more accurate. He doesn't throw with anticipation, doesn't throw with the same touch. But whatever. You guys want a strong arm quarterback, go ahead and draft Jamarcus Russell again. That's all he had.
Yeah, Shador's definitely more NFL ready. I think Cam's a little more like gamble, like a little higher ceiling, definitely lower basement. Again, all depends on the coaching staff. To me, McBud, thank you so much for the super chat. McBud, geez, how many teams are tanking for Travis Hunter? We're kind of hoping they go Travis, right? Maybe a quarterback will fall to us. Again, there's still 2 games left in the season. There's no guaranteed wins when we're the Raiders. We could easily lose to Carlos. We could easily lose to the Saints next week, even without Carr. Like it's very, very possible.
Let's see who these bums are playing. Let's see this NFL schedule next week. Week 17. Let's see what we got up in this.
Who the Giants got?
I'm looking right now.
Giants now passed up the Raiders. Now they have the 10-game losing streak. Chicago at 9.
Oh, Indy. That's going to be a slap fight. Those
Power
are 2
slap?
bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 bad teams.
Indy won today. Barely escaped Tennessee.
God, Indy, I don't get it. I don't understand how they have as many wins as they have. They're a bad team too, but whatever. Okay, so who does Jacksonville have? Jacksonville has Tennessee. Oh, one of them's gonna win.
That's good. Love that.
One of them's gonna win.
Someone has to win.
All right, and then Cleveland has Miami. It's at Cleveland, so it's going to be rough for Miami. They do not play well in the cold.
Who does New England have?
New England has the Chargers at home.
Beautiful. Chargers got a lot to play for. Okay, so there's some possibilities here.
We got Week 18. Week 18. There's let's see, Los Gigantes, Houston at Tennessee, Jacksonville at Indy. Oh no. Yeah, Jacksonville at Indy. That's possible. Let's see here. We have the Chargers.
So the race to the bottom.
New York at Philly. Philly's not going to play anybody.
It's a race to the bottom. It really is. But it's a heated race.
Baltimore, dude. Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Sam demand because they compare him to Geno and Tua. I fucking hate comps, man. It's like so lazy, and everyone gets all hot and bothered about it. This guy's the next Josh Allen, or this guy reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. So lazy and inaccurate. Grandmaster JRA, thank you for the very generous super chat. No quarterback is worth a high selection outside Warden Sanders. No one won with this win. We lost high pick, and now we know AP wasn't tanking. It's not great to know he was trying to win this whole time. Yeah, guys.
We've been telling you they're just bad.
No one's listening. They're just suck. AP sucks. Our offense sucks. Our run game sucks. O-line sucks. We're injured to shit. Like, yeah, man, we weren't tanking.
We have the same amount of players, and we weren't as good a team. That's why they're still winning, and they still have like their main pieces offensively, which is why they're still putting up points. We've lost, what was it, like almost a third of our starting players to IR, and so have the Lions.
If it weren't for the Lions having 11 defensive players just on one side of the ball, 11 guys on IR, if it weren't for them having like a historically injury-plagued season, the Raiders would be like the talk of the NFL as the most injury-plagued team. Like, it's disgusting. We had a third-string quarterback play because we had quarterbacks going out. We have like 2 healthy corners that started the season. Again, Detroit's insane. They're like, that's like ridiculous. 11 guys on IR just on defense. If it weren't for them, the Raiders would be like, oh, this is one of the most injured teams in the last like half decade. A couple positives. I thought Scott Turner dreamed up some pretty cool misdirections plays. I know there was a couple like I caught myself going, what, huh, which way? Like, okay, that was kind of cool. A little bit of hope there. I enjoyed that. Trey Tucker with a great adjustment on that route from Farva in the first quarter. I thought that was a really good like developmental catch by Trey Tucker, where it was kind of like back shoulder, but he had to come back to it. Like, that was nice because he's not going to win obviously 50-50 balls. He's too small, but he's able to like kind of bait the corner into overrunning the pass and then come back to it. Oh, that was really nice. Robert Spillane got a ton of love from the broadcast. It's always when there's like 2 shitty teams and the Fox broadcast booth is like, none of us want to be here. They try to like cherry pick and find guys to talk about.
You're telling me that freaking Tiki and who's the other dude?
I think Tiki didn't want to be there.
They didn't want to be in Vegas? Get out of here, dude.
Well, that's my point. He didn't want to be in that stadium. He wanted to get out of there and get into a casino. But I think the other dude was just happy to be there. Who was it? Forgot it already. On the CBS, it was a 3-man booth. But Tiki's been doing this long enough. He's like, okay, dude, let's have my limo just idling in front of Allegiant so I can get out of here. Bowers kind of had a case of the dropsies today. At least 2, maybe 3 drops, despite the fact that he had, was he 101 receptions now? 102?
Checking.
Total? And then 1,000 yards in the season. I know we're like, we got to give ourselves a verbal hand job to Brock Bowers as often as possible. 101. He did miss some blocks today, I will say. Like, we're going to start, we can't heap enough praise on Brock Bowers. But he did miss a couple blocks. He still needs to work on his blocking. But God doesn't give with both hands. I guess that'll be what he has to work on this offseason. Get a little better blocking. Because then we can leave him on the field every single offensive play. You know what I mean? We don't want him just to be a passing threat. Like, we want to have him be a legit run blocking threat to make him more of a receiving threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want him to always be there. Oh, Brock's there. He's going to run a route. You want him to think, oh, like, he can actually block too. It's going to open up everything if he can be a complete tight end.
Sam Demand. Soto, you think you okay with Darnold next year and draft a quarterback in later rounds? It all depends on who we have coaching.
It's
we need more.
Simple answer, yes, but continue. But yeah. Yes,
yes. I mean, Darnold is definitely a step up from anyone we've had. He's more talented. He's still young. He looks like he's I was kind of
just going to say this, Dominic. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell has made Darnold revitalize his career a little bit.
Look, Kevin O'Connell, fucking Ben Johnson, what's that weirdo looking guy from the Rams? McVay. Those are like the best play callers in the league.
Weirdo. My wife thinks he's the best looking coach since.
Dude, he looks creepy to me.
Really?
Yeah, he looks creepy to me. Your wife loves creepy looking white boys. I don't know what to tell you.
The half gingers, just like sort of, like not fully ginger, but kind of.
He talks kind of like
Short,
a
buff
little
white
bit more.
boys.
He talks like a little bit more aggressive. Gruden,
Mhm.
like his shoulders are back and he like leans forward. Yeah. I talk like this.
Ladies love it.
So look, would I be okay with that? It would be difficult. We need to. It's hard. It's hard to discuss things with a lot of Raider Nation because they're so like protective of Raiders, right? And because of that, it makes them overvalue these players and coaches. Aidan O'Connell put up 19 points against the freaking Jags. So he's not like this savior end all. You don't build a team around that. He didn't show you anything, any flashes. He just didn't throw for any touchdowns today. He landed on his knees again. I don't know what the heck. He just doesn't know how to freaking fall.
It was such a not Aidan O'Connell game. It was weird. It was a weird. He was like running around, no turnovers, which is rare for him, no touchdowns, which is rare for him, and not that efficient with the ball. But he made like 2 or 3, like, holy shit. He like ran through on the run. Not many, but a couple. I was like, who is this guy? Like, you're not good at what you're supposed to be good at. You're showing flashes of stuff you normally suck at.
Yeah, so
I don't know. It was a weird game.
Look, we need upgrades on this team. And we need upgrades at the 3 most important people in an organization. We need an upgrade in quarterback, head coach, and offensive coordinator. And it's not debatable. It just isn't. If you think we don't, you're fooling yourself. This is not like it's not subjective. It's not up for debate. We need an upgrade at those 3 spots because we are severely lacking in those 3 spots. It doesn't matter who you get. If we put them in a bad position, they're not going to maximize their talent. Plain and simple. Whether it be Darnold, whether it be Shador or Ward or whoever else, it's just not going to happen. All right. And we didn't win this game. The Jags just made sure that they lost it. Turning the ball over, stupid penalties. Like, I mean, they made the 4th down at the end of the game to keep the drive going, but they had a penalty. It's like they were giving this game away to us. And the issue that I'm having here is people are not looking at these things through an objective lens. Because of that, they're defending themselves over what they're actually defending, like either AP or O'Connell or whoever. It's like if they feel that they're wrong about what their decision is, like personally they're taking something like an L themselves.
I think you're letting a minority of Raider fans like fire
it's
you
up.
It's
not a minority, RJ.
It really
I don't
is.
know. I don't know who
really
you talk
is.
to or who you interact with. It's not a minority. If
it's the minority of our listeners, that's for sure.
Okay, well, I
look at our comments. AOC is hot garbage. Overvalue. AOC is a backup.
Perhaps you're not objective. Dude, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not objective.
I haven't seen a lot of Farva love on here, to be honest, dude. Yeah, I don't see the love you do. AOC is shit. AOC is only a solid backup at best. I don't know, dude. I think our listeners are on board. Maybe it's because we've been jamming it down their throats for the last 18 months. McBud, thank you for the super chat. O-line was pretty bad. Parm is getting worse. I'm wondering if it's something like a Colton Miller where coming back from injury, he's just not 100%, or did he really get that much shittier in his second year?
He's just bad. He's really bad.
He's worse than he was last year and he's coming off injury. That's giving me a sliver of hope that it's like, okay, he's just not recovered. Like, he's playing bad. Don't get me wrong. The back-to-back plays, there was a hold and then he gave up a sack back-to-back. He wasn't that bad in run blocking, but he was real bad in pass blocking.
He just gets abused in pass blocking. Like the guys just throw him out of the way. He's just not strong enough.
There's a good chance it was just like not recovered from injury, or he just got way worse. Hopefully it's the former, not the latter. I was thinking about this. If we went to the game, Soto, if we actually like, hey, fuck it, let's go to the game. Would we have tried to like get our entire section to be inverted fans? So like when we were on offense, we try to get everyone to get loud so that we can keep the Raiders from winning. Or if we were, you know what I mean? Like, would we try to rally all the Raider fans to be like, guys, we need to lose this game. We need tough love to make this
Dude,
team
I don't want to
fail.
lose any games, dude. But I don't want to play like shit either. This doesn't give me any type of satisfaction whatsoever. We played awful and we won. So it's like we're not building on any type of like of talent for the future. We're not looking at any of these guys like, oh, these guys we can build on, and we're getting worse draft position. It's like the worst of both worlds.
Great question, Oakland fan. Who from our offense besides Bowers will start another team? Colton Miller, Jacoby Myers is a amazing wide receiver too.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Jackson Powers. DJ Glaze, above average right tackle. I would say at worst an average right tackle. He'd start.
It's not a lot.
Not many. Jacoby's I think a borderline wide receiver one. But he's I think in a great offense, he's your number 2 wide receiver. I think that would be peak if we can get another wide receiver 1 and him as 2, Trey Tucker, speed guy, Brock Bowers, and Michael Mayer, above average tight end. He'd start elsewhere. It's probably it. Amir Abdullah came on later. He'd be more of a rotational back anywhere, though. Pretty much anywhere else he went.
It's Parham's 3rd year, and John Simpson is out there having a freaking all-pro year. Sweet. What happened with that anyway?
It never came out publicly. Whatever happened between Simpson and Josh McDaniels, it never like came out publicly, but everyone just heavily insinuated that like John Simpson didn't just like kiss McDaniels' ring or some bullshit. Like he forgot McDaniels' birthday or something stupid.
Really?
It was I'm not being sarcastic, like, but it obviously wasn't play. Like he's good. He's like, well, I just didn't work out. They just didn't jive. It was Josh McDaniels' fuckery is why we lost Simpson. It wasn't play.
Oh boy. We could have had John Simpson and Christian Darrisaw on that line.
That'd be a damn good line for those two guards.
Because we cut Leatherwood and we cut Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna fucking slap my wrist if I keep thinking about that.
Mm-hmm. Jack Jones, he got the memo. He's like,
oh yeah, Jack Jones was giving him some plays, baby.
He's like, I want to play with Shador.
He's like, I don't mind playing with a Shador.
He's like, hey, do a double move on me.
I'm gonna bite again.
I'm gonna do a double move.
I mean, to be fair, Brian Johnson is fast enough to where you only have to hesitate a little bit, and he's by you. But that kid's the truth. He even dropped. He should have had 2 long touchdown passes. He freaking dropped one.
We got some serious depth on D-line. Another silver lining.
Oh yeah, man.
Our entire D-line is injured, and we found just random dudes carrying the torch. Stoked about that.
Yeah.
Jason played great.
She almost had another pick, dude. That's crazy. Yeah. And these are like physical freaks. They're like tall, long. They're not too heavy. They're quick.
We'll have some serious rotational firepower on D-line next season if guys stay healthy.
We got to get Butler back, dude. He's solid up the middle. He's a solid pass rusher up the middle. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was too.
I mean, we have our what? Janarius Robinson suspended, Wilkins and Crosby IR, Butler out with injury, Kuntz IR, and we still got pressure.
Didn't Butler play today? I thought he played today.
Yeah, Butler played today.
Okay.
Adam Butler, not Matthew Butler. There's 2 Butlers. We're like a mansion. We have 2 Butlers.
Okay.
Shimo86, thank you for the super chat. It's laughable that selfish fans think the whole team is taking. Coaches and players are fighting to keep their jobs. Telesco has to work his magic. Yeah, I mean, I understand why fans think we're tanking. A 10-game losing streak. A 10-game losing streak. Like, if you're not, look, I get it, guys. Like, me and Soto live and breathe this. We've watched every snap of every Raider game for decades. We're on this all the time. And not everyone's like that. I get it. Like, most fans, just like, oh, I want to watch the game. I want to root for my team. I'll check out some post shows, some YouTube channels every now and then. I'll go to maybe, one game a season. But, it's fine if you don't live and breathe Raiders. Like, I get it. Like, people have lives, jobs, and family, and like other sports. Like, I get it. Like, so if you're cruising in and out and you see how bad the Raiders are playing, you're like, oh, it looks like they're tanking. Okay. Like, I don't think you're crazy. If you listen to this show on a regular basis, I feel like we've made it abundantly clear with plenty of evidence that the Raiders just suck and not tanking. But if you're in and out of Raider world and you just see how bad they are, like, I get you thinking we're taking, but I mean, how many times do you need us to explain to you that we're not?
It's just kind of like what we talked about. Like when we get national coverage, it's just very surface topical. Everyone talks about the same things, right? Because there's a narrative that's being pushed. So if all you do is watch SportsCenter and you casually watch a game, and you're watching the game, but you're talking, you're on your phone, drinking a beer, or you go out to a bar and you're not really super intent, like focused on the game and like the nuance of the game, and you don't watch.
You're watching it like a normal human being.
Yeah.
And not like me and Soto just like
again. You don't watch any game film on it. You just watch the game as you're doing other things. I understand why you watch SportsCenter or NFL.com, and you watch all these national people who don't watch games and study the games. They just kind of like surface level it. I get why you can be swayed by mainstream narratives. I get it. RG and I aren't that. We dig a lot deeper and we understand this team is just bad. This team was a borderline playoff team without any injuries and with our coaching staff firing at its best. Our coaching staff hasn't been its best, and we had a ton of injuries, the most in the league, tied for. So
Lions dethroned us, but Lions are like historically injured.
Did they lose to someone else today?
They have 11 defensemen on IR. 11.
That's nuts.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 defensemen on IR, which is insane. Like, that's a crazy amount of defenders on IR, and we're still 4 short of the Lions. Like, I don't want to keep giving the Lions excuses, but it is fucking nuts how many defenders they have on IR. It's wild.
So I don't mind picking up a Jalen Milroe in the second round, because that's where he should be picked up, because he does have some issues he needs to work through, but he's just so dynamic that you could build. That's why I said I don't know, because you need the right offensive coordinator to build stuff, to build him easy throws, to build that offense around him. If you put him in this type of offense, it's not going to work. It's just not. So there's plenty of ways for us to get to the promised land. We don't need a Shedeur Sanders, or we don't need a Camel. We don't need those guys to get where we need to go. We need a more talented quarterback, right? And we need somebody who's able to unlock their talent while developing the stuff they need to work on. And I think there's a couple of guys that can come in and eventually be that guy that can help us go further. But it's not going to be the guys that we have on the team now. They just don't have enough.
I mean, look, there's good news and bad news for the Raiders in that situation, right? Like, the Raiders need a complete overhaul because the most important positions need an overhaul. Head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback, right? And who knows, like, with Tom Brady coming in, is Telesco kind of like a paper GM? Just like, that's another thing that's going to unfold. I don't even want to get into it because there's too many unknowns. But the good and bad news is we need an overhaul, but we're in a pretty decent position to get that type of overhaul. We can still get number 1, number 2 draft pick, and we'll get either Shedeur or Cam if that's the direction they want to go, or we get Travis Hunter and we have insane weapon Hunter and Brock and whatever. The fact of the matter is, whoever's coming in needs to have an overhaul with a plan, and all things should be open. whether it's a free agent like Sam Darnold, whether it's a draft like Shador Cam, whether it's a trade with somebody, whatever. Like, it's all open. It is open season. And it's going to come down to who the OC and head coach is and which quarterback they think that they can roll with. Because, again, we just went through our defense when healthy. Pretty good. Like, not bad. Like, DBs can use a little help. Spillane's having a Pro Bowl year. We just talked about the defensive line is when healthy, top 5 in the league. Now we discovered has a ton of depth. Our guards are struggling, but other than that, O-line isn't an atrocious situation. Brock Bowers is God level. Jacoby Myers is borderline wide receiver 1 or amazing wide receiver 2. Trey Tucker's rounds out wide receiver 3 perfectly. Sincere McCormick, I think, can be a pretty good regular back for us. So there's stuff that's going to be attractive to a new regime. Like, we're thinking, why would Ben Johnson or these, amazing offensive coordinators come to the Raiders? Like, well, you get to pick your quarterback. You've got weapons. You've got a great defensive coordinator and a pretty solid defense when healthy. There might be some attraction here, Soto. Like, this team, depending on where we end up in the draft, I can see why an offensive-minded coach would be like, I want to start here, start from scratch with the guys I get to choose and build from there.
It just all depends, man. There's so much that's left to be written right now because we can mess around and end the season on a 3-game winning streak. Because the Saints are bad. Even with Carr, they're bad. They're not good. And who knows what's going to happen with the freaking Bulls. We played the Chiefs tight. We played the Broncos tight. And it's just those late season divisional matchups, they're funky, dude. Yeah. They're funky. And imagine if the Chargers come in here and we beat them and knock them out of the playoffs. Oh, that'd be so sweet.
Mini salvage of the season. Little mini. I feel like the Chargers aren't they more or less a lock? Don't they have to lose out to maybe
more or less? They need to lose out. Yeah, they play. I think the next week they play at New England.
It's a win.
You never know.
Well, think about the head coaching positions that are going to be open. Are the Raiders a more attractive option? Chicago. I mean, you do have a quarterback, but it's kind of bare there. I feel like depending on what you're looking for as a head coach, the Raiders have some attractive options for you.
The most attractive option is probably going to be Chicago because of the quarterback situation. Say what you want to say. He's a polarizing player, but he is very talented. Caleb Williams is very talented. Another one that people might want to go to, and he's not fired yet, but he will be, is in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence comes back. He was a high pick. He was a productive player. He's won a playoff game in the past. He's still a young guy. That's another attractive destination. It all comes down to, what you're looking for at quarterback. And a lot of these coaches understand that just getting a head coaching job isn't good enough anymore. You have to have the pieces in place. That's why a lot of them are just kind of staying. Ben Johnson stayed where he was because he couldn't get to the place where he wanted with a quarterback he wanted and a situation he was looking for. So why screw yourself? And instead of being more patient for a year or maybe even 2, you go to a bad situation for a couple of years, get fired, and not have another opportunity for another 5 years. So you're screwing yourself over more instead of waiting for that right situation. So I get it. I understand it. It's just once things start falling more into place, and I think I do think that having Tom Brady around kind of maybe will lend a little bit more stability to the organization that maybe of a head coach or a coordinator would have a little bit of trepidation coming over to the Raiders. They're like, okay, well, Brady's going to be involved. It's going to be a little bit more stable. This is me being positive.
Well, I think Tom Brady can be a like a tiebreaker scenario for like a really good offensive coordinator or head coach or whatever. It's like, oh, I want to go, Chicago or Las Vegas, and you have Tom Brady come swooping in and being like, hey,
hey,
come over here. I'm Tom Brady. I'll let you bang my my carryovers. You know what I mean? Like
all right, you freaking cheap ass Anthony, fuck, drop some of that coin. Give us a super chat. What's the matter with you? $434.
parlays. The Devil's Workshop. Johnny Gons, thank you for the super chat. Que pasa, boys? Can someone please gently clip AOC's knee with a tractor? One more win, and it's Cousins type nonsense. Dart with Kiffin. Let's go.
No.
A tractor, huh?
Dart is not. Dart is another backup in the NFL. I watched them play.
What is?
Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You guys got to stop getting fooled by college stats because they're playing college defenses. Okay, it's just okay. I saw him when he was at SC, and that's why they didn't play him because he wasn't that good.
Cuban Raider. I'd rather take 06 Aaron Brooks. Thank AOC. Than AOC? I think probably
than AOC. Yeah. AOC. You know what really sucked? We were like 4-2, and Jason Campbell separated his shoulder. And then we didn't win a game the rest of the year. That was a good squad, man. We actually had a chance to do something.
Yeah. Well, I think it was they kind of went all in thinking it was better than it was. Like it was a good squad, but it was not an all-in squad, What else from today, Soto? What else stood out to you? What blew your skirt up? Did you learn anything? Anything about our team today?
Things
other than we have
things that really
that D-line.
Things that really stood out were Amir Abdullah is just he's slippery, man. He gets those yards. Brock Bowers is a legit everything. The interior of the offensive line, I think, honestly think that Jackson Powers Johnson playing on the interior line makes everyone else look bad because they're not him. We need to upgrade there. Isaiah Polamau, like I said last week after the game, I said, man, he's thin, but he can hit. And he punched the ball out, but he also, dislodged the ball with just a tackle. So that was a great play by him. I think we might be able to save a little bit of money and not sign back Epps if we have Polamau out there. He's been playing pretty well. What else? Yeah, the defensive line looked good. Laulu's coming on a little bit more. We saw like a modified NASCAR package on third downs. Mm-hmm. It was Chason, Butler, Snowden, and Wilson. It was kind of like their semi NASCAR package of all pass rushers.
It was more of an F1 package, not a NASCAR package.
I mean, if F1s are faster, so
F1.
They're faster,
smaller and faster. Yeah, more F1 than NASCAR.
But yeah, I mean, I think a couple of guys really showed out for themselves. Amir Abdullah again did a really good job. Also, over 5 yards carry. He also had 5 catches. And like I said, Isaiah Polamau just showing that he can play closer to the line of scrimmage. He's a type of safety. Both of them are Merrick and Polamau. They're the type of safety that Patrick Graham wants. The guys that they can just kind of like flip flop sides, play the line of scrimmage or play back, play the slot guy if they need to. So they're really showing well for themselves. Yeah, I mean,
Merrick's really worked himself well into PG's system.
I was curious. Blitz, man. He's a good blitzer.
Because he was like so perfect for Gus Bradley's system, where he was just like, look, just center fields. That's all he wants, right? Just center fielder, deep. Don't give up the big play. And he was good at that. He was like, okay. But then Patrick Graham like demands so much more, and it was a little semi-rocky to start. But I think Merrick's a lot smarter than I originally gave him credit for. Like I was like, okay, he's just kind of like a center fielder. That's all Gus Bradley wanted. Like that's just do that, right? I don't need you thinking. I just need you reacting as a center fielder. And he was great there. And then it was just more of a big adjustment for him, right? From Bradley to PG system is like, it's hard to have a more different way to have your safeties work than those two systems. And there was growing pains, but yeah, man, I underestimated him.
He's really good.
Change the system. He's great.
Hefe awesome. Knight, we don't want top tier talent in this organization. We always think we can find a diamond in the rough. Yes. What have I been saying? What's wrong with just getting better players? Why do we always have to find somebody from the scrap heap? We're so in love with that. Why do we always have to have the underdog? Oh, he's a head coach that no one else wanted to hire, but we hired him and he ended up being. Who gives a shit? Why not just get the better freaking coaches?
We've had better players. We've had to do that because we had the Mayock, Gruden, McDaniels draft classes that were fucking trash. So we were forced to just find diamonds in the rough because we wasted our first round picks, our second round picks, our third round picks. Our free agent signings were dog shit. We were forced to find diamonds in the rough because we suck so fucking bad in drafting in free agency. Now, we're actually pretty good at it. Telesco got 4 starters in his top 4 picks. Christian Wilkins, people shit on that
and people signing. Are still shitting on Telesco. After all these years of shitting away our first round picks, he gets 4 starters out of the top 4 picks, and people are still shitting on the guy.
Wilkins, until he got hurt.
God, he was fucking amazing.
When Maxx Crosby was playing next to Wilkins, he was averaging over a sack a game. And then Wilkins gets hurt, and they can go back to triple teaming Maxx like they always did. And even then, Maxx still got his numbers, but he was crushing it because you couldn't triple team him because he had Wilkins, which was an amazing signing. Like Telesco's, again, the injuries fucked everything up. But yeah, like I get it. We have post-traumatic stress. Because in the last 10 years, we were terrible in the draft and terrible in free agency. And so we were forced to sift through the scrap heap and hope we found somebody. And we were actually pretty good at it, right? Like Spillane wasn't a highly touted free agent. We got him. He's been amazing for us. A couple other ones as well. But don't count on it. Like, it's great when we can pull it off. It's awesome. Pat yourself on the back when you can find, a player that no one wants and no good.
If we can get Mason Graham, If we get Mason Graham is a white Christian Wilkins, a younger white Christian Wilkins.
I don't trust him if he's white.
He's good. He's really good.
I don't know if I like that. Yeah, man.
What are we 6
Anything
now?
Else?
6 pick?
We're currently 5 according to Tankathon, but Tankathon uses a different algorithm than NFL and some other ones. So Tankathon,
no, that's not right because look at New England
prediction model.
New England lost today. They lost. That's not up to date.
Oh, here we go. Wait, boop. Refresh.
Yeah, they're second now.
Now we're 6. There's 5, 3, and 12 teams, and we're the last one.
Yeah, because look, Giants are taking a quarterback. New England's taking, if Travis Hunter probably. Jacksonville's going to take probably a defensive lineman, either the pass rusher or, they may not take the pass rusher because they might take Graham. Or the corner, Will Johnson.
I bet you New England trades down. If it stays like this, right? If it's let's hypothetically, right? Let's say it stays this draft order. I bet you New England trades down.
I don't know that you would trade up for any of those guys. It's like, if you weren't going to trade up for Michael Penix, then you don't trade up for any of these guys.
Well, the landscape was different too. I think because there were so many quarterbacks in the last draft that you don't feel like you have to. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing too is like, I think because there were so many good quarterbacks last year in the draft, like first round talent. And I've been telling you guys for like 3 seasons now that last year's draft was going to be fucking amazing quarterback wise. It's not always that. It's not. And these quarterbacks are going to get overvalued, and rightfully so because of the position, because there's not that many out there this next season. I'm hearing names like Dylan Gabriel, who's like a freaking midget out there. He's like 5'9", dude. He's small. He's like 180 pounds. Like, no, I don't want that. Sorry. Not going to happen. All right. Jackson Dart is limited. He plays well in that offense, but he's not going to be able to run that offense in the NFL. There's a couple of guys. I mean, like again, Jalen Milroe. If you can tailor, if you can put out there the offense that the Ravens put for Lamar Jackson when he came out, they weren't asking him to do a lot with his arm. Okay, it was a lot of running plays, a lot of like short, easy passes, a lot of moving the pocket around and stuff like that. Give him a lot of easy throws. If you can do that, which means you have to draft a running back and you have to go heavy on offensive line because you have to rely on your running game. You can't let a player like an early Lamar Jackson or a Jalen Milroe throw the ball 30 times a game. He has to throw less than that because if he's throwing that much, it's not going to be good. If you can do that and you could commit, because you like the same thing that the Ravens did, they had to commit the entire organization to Lamar Jackson. They had to, because it wouldn't work any other way. And they did, and it worked out for him. And now he was able to improve as a passer. Now he's a 2-time MVP. I'm not saying that Jalen Milroe is that, but Jalen Milroe is just as a dynamic as he, maybe not as fast, but just he's very super uber dynamic, and he has a strong arm, and he can make people miss, and he's a big kid. But if you take him early, you have to commit your entire organization around making him work specifically, which means AOC is gone because you're not going to put an offense that AOC can't run, right? Everyone else is gone. You're getting a whole new group of quarterbacks, and you're probably overhauling your offensive line, if that makes sense.
Well, again, it all comes down to who's coming in as head coach, who's coming in an offensive coordinator, who's coming in a quarterback coach. It's weird because it's like everything's kind of waiting on that. Hey, RJ, who do you want to draft? I don't know. Who's drafting? Who's making those decisions?
There's dudes in this draft. Yeah, I'd say that there's like 5 or 6 legit guys, most of them on defense. They're like top end guys. Usually there's like 10, like what we talk about. There's like the top 10 players in the draft. And then like 11 to like maybe 35 to 40, 50 maybe. And then the rest of them is like dealer's choice, whatever. What's your flavor after that?
Yeah. Like
middle of the second round, those guys can go second round, fourth round. It's just what are you looking for? But there's usually an elite group of players in the first round. And there's legitimately 6 guys that are like the top guys. If we go BPA, great. That's fine with me. But if we move forward with like, all right, let's hang everything on Aidan O'Connell. It's like, dude, he's just so limited, guys. I understand that he like makes plays and he's spunky and he's out like he's just not. Oh, whatever. I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, I really think that there isn't a very large group of people begging for AOC to be a starter. I think there's a minority, and you're letting them get to you.
Hunter, Graham, Johnson. The 2 quarterbacks, Abdul from Penn State. Those guys are like the legit dudes. We'll see what's going on with the tackles, but these are like the legit top 6.
SD Raider 619. Thank you for super chat. Start scouting Dylan Gabriel, our future second pick. Oh, he hit you right in the feels, Soto. It was less than 10 minutes ago you were shitting all over Dylan Gabriel. I think SD Raider 619 is fucking with you.
I hope so, because he's not that good. He's not Bo Nix. He's not Bo Nix, and he's fucking tiny, dude. He's small. He's just a little guy.
Anything else from the game you want to get to?
How big is this dude? Let's see what the stats, like the 6 foot 200. Yeah, right.
In your bra.
Dude, he's 6 feet with his cleats on, maybe. There's no way he's 6 feet. If he's 5'10", I'm fucking 6'2".
I love football measurements treated as like real life shit. You know what I mean?
When it's like that generic, 6 foot 200. I wonder how many 6 foot 200 freaking players are on that team. If you're under 6 feet, you're 6 feet.
So I'm closer to 5'10" than 5'9", but I always tell people I'm 5'9" because I don't want to sound like the dude that like stretches how big he is. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. It's like, no, 5'10". I'm like, no, just 5'9". I don't want to be that dude. If my dimensions were on an NFL roster, I'd be 6 foot 210. the way they exaggerate shit. You know what I mean? I'd be 6'2", 10".
I'm not so worried about his age because I mean, players are playing longer in the NFL and this and that. That's not a huge deal for me.
It's less how long you last in the league, but when you're 25 playing against 18-year-olds in college, it makes you look better than you are. That's more what bothers me. Is just like, okay, you're men amongst boys, and that's why you're looking good in college. Not so much. It's like, oh, you're going to age out faster. It's more. I'm more the other way about it.
Yeah, and he went to 3 different colleges because he couldn't start. And then he went to Oregon and he couldn't beat out Bo Nix. He's not Bo Nix, dude. He's not as good as Bo Nix.
Anything else for the game?
That's about it, man. I mean,
hit everything.
There was to find positives, we have to really search deep and look at individual performances. But other than that, the team as a whole the offense was not good. We had a couple of drives, mainly due to a lot of mistakes by the Jaguars. But I mean, that long pass to Tucker to like the 1 yard line was a lollipop throw. I'm like, dude, all that guy has to do is turn around, and it's an easy interception. And I mean, he didn't turn around. It was
a great adjustment by Tucker.
It was. It helped that the corner forgot that they were actually throwing the ball.
Tucker, if we had a better offense, Tucker would make some noise. I think
Tucker is a much better outside receiver than I gave him credit for. I think a lot of people, including myself, felt that he was another like quick slot guy. This is a long speed guy that can run a lot of slants, a lot of stops, a lot of comebacks, and the fades, of course, and the corner routes. It's like his
route running in general has gotten better. Like he's so small, he's not going to like win 50-50 balls or like be like that type. Like he's severely limited as an outside wide receiver because of that. But everything else, literally everything else, speed, getting separation, yards after catch, coming back to the ball, drawing PIs. If we had a better quarterback, we had a better offense. I mean, Trey would be making some noise, which goes to show you how good Jacoby Myers is, where he's still kind of getting people's attention in an offense this bad.
I totally forgot about Genty. I'll take Genty. If we have the 6th pick, we ended up just getting the guy, the Heisman snub, everything running back. Mm-hmm. That'll help us if we have, a younger quarterback to have a running back like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Trey Harris is a good receiver too. I like Trey Harris as well, Josh Clay. I like Trey Harris as well. If we pick him up, 2nd round, maybe one of our 3rd round picks, not bad. He's a pretty good player.
All right. Well,
start watching film.
Yeah, start watching film. So when do you want to do the show next week? Because we normally record on Wednesday nights, and that's Christmas. What's your Thursday like? Do you want to do like a live show in the morning, or do you
Thursday? I'm off at 4. I'll be home 4:15, 4:30.
Okay.
We can do live on 4:30.
Maybe we'll do live. We'll see. Yeah. Change things up. Holiday season show. All right.
Dude, so
Raiders.
I don't notice how big the beard is getting because I see myself every day, but then I see myself in pictures and I'm in my beard era.
If you had glasses that were circles and you weren't wearing a beanie, I'd be like, you can pull off Santa.
You think so?
Yeah. Circles with the white beard and like the Raiders beanie's throwing it off, but
so
you do Santa. That's Santa-y. I can see some Santa.
The Tupac holiday sweater with the snakeskin boots.
You think he wrote for Vice in Brooklyn in 2018?
You like that?
In that shadow. Yeah.
Look at that beard, bro. I think
Santa.
It's big.
I'm telling you, be Santa.
I got a better one here. Look at this. Look at this together. Look at that beard, bro.
Santa. All right. Well, we'll figure out when we do the show. But the Raiders win/lose/ whatever you want to call it. 19-14 Raiders over Jags, drop from the number 2 pick to currently number 6. Still two games to go. Officially draft season. Oh, here we go. Sam Demand. I'll watch the next show from Mexico.
Oh,
going
hell
tomorrow. Have fun.
We're
Where in
Mexican
Mexico,
cheese,
Sam?
bro.
Yeah. Where in Mexico?
Yeah, if you're going to Leon, I need some more boots.
You know, like a Southern California versus a rest of America type person, because you're like, oh, I'm going to Mexico. And if you say that when you're in Minnesota, they're like, oh, fun. But if you're in Southern California, you're like Rosarito, Tijuana,
Where are you going?
Mexicali, Cancun. Like they're very different.
Jalisco. Oh,
Jalisco.
shit. You better stay strapped, homie. You better stay strapped.
Yeah, yo.
Oh my God.
All right, guys.
Best.
Thanks for joining us. Have fun in Mexico. Be safe. Have a fantastic Christmas, guys. Don't let this Raiders losing season ruin it. Kiss your wife, hug your kids, pet your dog, call your mom. Have an amazing holiday season. And we'll be back after Christmas. And until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Hey, you